From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn-Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Let's take a look at your weather headlines. And you know what? These headlines haven't changed since yesterday. You know why? Because look at that first headline. Not much change through next week, because that's essentially what we got going on. The stagnant weather pattern, highs near normal going into the weekend, maybe just a tad warmer today and tomorrow. Still your typical summer heat. It's still going to be hot, but we got a nice dip in the temperatures, especially by early next week. And we're going to keep those temperatures most likely well below normal for this time of the year through not only the middle, but maybe even through all of next week. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance. A little hazy, a little smoky in some spots here. Temperatures mid to upper 90s for the valley. I'm expecting mainly 90s for the higher elevations. So again, yes, a little bit warmer than it has been over the last few days. Let's take a look at our fire weather forecast. We start off with those winds, and yes, I'm going to start off with the phrase, no major wind events. That's always something that's music to my ears, but we're still going to see those afternoon breezes here coming in from the south for the valley, dying down by tomorrow morning. Kind of that same song and dance going into your Saturday afternoon, and that will of course be the case for Sunday as well. The fire weather risk, well, it's still dry, it's still hot, but it's pretty standard, pretty typical, where we've got the moderate to high fire weather risk. We don't want to start seeing red and purple on the map, because that's when conditions are really starting to elevate with that fire weather risk. Bottom line, we can't ever let our guards down this time of the year when it comes to fire safety. Taking a look at the fire smoke forecast, again, same song and dance as the last few days. The smoke from the Green Fire pushes to the north and east. The smoke from the Butler Fire pushes to the south and east. However, that being said, I do expect to most likely see a little bit more smoke by late tonight, early tomorrow morning for a good portion of Trinity County. Now, this is not very dense smoke that you're seeing here. It'll be mainly just a little bit more haze, maybe a bit of that smell, faint smell of smoke for some of you that haven't really seen it this week, but I think that could change here for tonight and tomorrow morning. And then for Saturday afternoon, we start to see that smoke and haze begin to push a little out for some of Trinity County, but northern Trinity County is still seeing some of that smoke, especially north of Highway 299. I'd say Weaverville northward. And then by Saturday night, a lot of the smoke from the Green Fire pushing eastward. And I do think Bernie northward could see some of that smoke as well. As you know, conditions can change very rapidly with the fire. So all you got to do is go to weathernorcal.com, click on the fire danger section. It's a one-stop shop for all of the information that you need when it comes to the fires. So we've got some cooler air over the Gulf of Alaska. That's not big news, but the cool thing is, or the great thing is that cooler, more mild air is going to be working its way down into the Pacific Northwest and even Northern California. Its other job is to keep the heat to our west and to our east from building back in. So what that means is that cooler air, more mild air shifts to the south, our temperatures moderate, our temperatures drop. We're talking 80s, yes, 80s for your daytime highs in the valley for Monday, Tuesday of next week. Now that mild air will start to kind of creep its way back up northward here as we take you into the end of next week. But bottom line, that's going to keep that heat far enough away from us that our temperatures will remain below normal for the extended outlook. There you can see we're down to the upper 80s for Reading for Monday, Tuesday, slowly creeping their way back up, but still below 100 degrees and still mainly in the low to even mid 90s by the end of next week, which again is below that 100, 101 typically that we see this time of the year. Now, another thing I want to point out that it is very dry out there. There you can see we do have the water vapor imagery showing the lack thereof moisture. We're just not really seeing much of that. Now, we have been looking at over the last few afternoons, not every day, but we have seen some isolated showers and thunderstorms popping up for parts of Siskiyou and even Moda County. We saw that yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, and even though Futurecast really not picking up on it here for today, we could see it this afternoon. We could see it Saturday afternoon as well. I think it's going to be mainly dry out there. And look at this. By tomorrow, we're actually seeing some clearing along the coast. I think you're going to see more sunshine. And yes, some of that fog will return Saturday night into Sunday morning, but not a lot. And I do expect to see some clearing again for your Sunday afternoon. All right, so here's your forecast for your Friday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s in the valley. You know, some of us could touch 100 degrees today or tomorrow, but for the most part below 100 degrees. Mainly 90s today in many of the higher elevations with temperatures in the low 60s for the coast. For tonight, we're talking mid 60s for the valley, low 50s, and even some mid to upper 50s for the higher elevations, and we're talking low 50s for the coast. So let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. Look at that. Even Redding, upper 80s for Monday, Tuesday, and mid to upper 80s for Monday, Tuesday for Chico. Slowly creeping back up, but again, the normal high is upper 90s to about 100 degrees for the valley. For the coast, low 60s, partly to mostly cloudy skies, more sunshine for this weekend for the coast. Inland and even Trinity County, you're dropping down to the 80s by Monday, Tuesday, and slowly working their way back up toward the middle and latter part of next week. And you're seeing that trend here for the higher elevations as well, dropping down into the low 80s for Mount Shasta by Monday, Tuesday. Now that's what I'm talking about. Temperatures back up in the mid 80s though for Wednesday and Thursday. All right, that is a look at your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Have yourselves a great afternoon.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the North State. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the North State. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.